Hey guys, welcome to my channel where we're going to be starting the day with some rose pruning. I wanted to capture how beautiful the winter roses look prior to starting the pruning process. And what I'm doing here is a very hard prune because what happened last year, or I guess earlier this year in May, all the roses really started flopping over because they just got so top heavy. Like this picture is from May of this year. However, this year I'm doing much more of a hard prune. What I'm doing next here is planting bulbs in the ground. I got this new bulb planter and I thought it would make life a lot easier because I bought, like I'm not even over exaggerating, at least 700 to 800 bulbs this year, including all of these. These are the Orangery Narcissus. I've never tried these before. We have some Darwin hybrid tulips, the blush blend. These are supposed to be perennial. They look like they're really good. I'm really excited to see what they look like in the spring. These here are the pink charm narcissus or daffodil. And if you guys know of any good bulb planters, please write down in the comments below because I will probably be purchasing a new one next year, considering how difficult this one was to use. I've also read differing information about whether or not bulbs need bulb food. Basically, the consensus is that the bulbs this year have all the energy that they need to flower. However, next year is probably when they're going to actually need the bulb food. I just had bulb food on hand, so I went ahead and just used what I had. You could see me taking breaks here in between. That's because it was a pretty hot day and I was kind of smushed in between a bush and a fence here. I know you can't tell that on camera. But yeah, please let me know if you know of any good bulb planters. This is an Amaryllis bulb that I got. It's called Charisma. Here I'm kind of just unpackaging it and making sure that it fits well into the pot. Amaryllis bulbs like to be snug in their pots. They're supposed to be about 1 inch of room, and it looks like this one is kind of a perfect fit. So I'm going to go ahead and use this pot for this Amaryllis. I read an article about how soaking the bulb first in water for 12 hours helps to start the flowering process sooner, or like the sprouting process. I think the bulb is supposed to flower up to 2 or 3 weeks earlier than it would have otherwise. And notice here how the water isn't touching the bulb itself. It's more so just the roots that are being soaked. And again, for 12 hours I'm soaking it. I'm leaving the soil here because this was a Sunday night and I needed to plant the bulb Monday morning before heading out to work, so I just wanted to make sure everything was good and ready that morning. This is another Amaryllis bulb that I planted and I didn't really like how you could see the soil. So what I'm going to do here is cover the bulb with some moss. This is what I purchased at the local nursery. You could get this kind of moss or the reindeer moss that I purchased. I think that adding the moss just adds more life to the bulb, especially prior to it sprouting. I also wanted to add some like a winter berries, kind of like to get red and green for Christmas. I also wanted to add a pine cone, so I went out and found this pine cone on the street. And I'm just going to add it to the top here. This is how it ended up looking. I also added in some leaves, but the next morning I thought it just looked too much, and I ended up taking out the leaves and the pine cone and just leaving the amaryllis bulb with the berries. Alright, next we're going to make this reindeer go from this to this. First things first, gotta get the reindeer out from storage. It's been hanging up here all summer, and the ivy from last winter is all dead. Gotta get all the cobwebs off the reindeer, fix Rudolph's antlers, and bring him back to life. This is a reindeer that I purchased 2 or 3 years ago, and every year I just let the ivy die and I pot it with new ivy just because the summers here are so hot. It gets to like over 100 degrees, so there's really no way for the ivy to survive through the summer. And I don't think these reindeer were intended for the ivy to survive all summer. I don't know. Write down in the comments below if you have one of these reindeer topiary pieces and what you do with yours. Just giving him a full water. Ready to be placed in the front yard. Just adds like a nice winter touch. I thought it would be fun to do like a little haul of what I got. Some frost protection blankets for my hibiscus flowers, because my yellow hibiscus grew so well this past summer. It would just be such a shame for it to die in the frost. Some paper whites. My first time ever purchasing these, so we'll see how they go. This is what they look like inside. There were just 3 bulbs in the pot. I also got some violas and yarrow for planting. The viola I'm going to plant in the winter. And yeah, hope everybody has a great winter gardening, and looking forward to all the flowers next spring.